Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News for You. I'm Victoria Coren Mitchell in the news this week. As Labour threatens to end non-dom status, Roman Abramovich tries to make a quick getaway with all of his money. After an all-night campaign meeting in the Dog and Duck, Nigel Farage wakes up and tells his PA to cancel all of his meetings. And in a rabbit hutch in Hatton Garden, footage emerges of another daring heist. On Ian's team tonight is a comedian who says many panel shows are unnecessarily competitive. Wrong answer, so you lose a point for that. What a dreadful start. Please welcome Alan Cochrane. And with Paul tonight is a Labour politician who for 10 years was Deputy Prime Minister. To put that in perspective, it meant even less then than it does now. Please welcome Baron Prescott of Kingston upon Hull. We start with the big story of the week. Paul and John, take a look at this.
Yes, OK, this is Ed Miliband making his famous silent speech. This is the Greens, Natalie Bennett, I think that's her name. Yes, Nigel Farage, ice cream and all this sort of stuff. The leaders, everybody but Nick Clegg and David Cameron are debating on Thursday night, and people were absolutely amazed when they woke up Friday morning and saw what had happened. Just have a look.
Did you watch the debate last night?
Yes, I did. It was great. It was no. You caught me out mid-lie, mid-face. No, I didn't see it. No, was it good?
So am I the only one who could bear to watch?
Yes.
Well, it was great.
What was your favourite bit, Ian?
The bit at the beginning when you realised Cameron hadn't turned up. That was very good. And then Clegg hadn't come either.
Yeah.
So it meant that everyone attacked Ed Miliband. He'd managed to get a platform where all the other people could say, you're useless. And he couldn't say it's the Tories' fault because they weren't there. So it was a slightly unbalanced debate.
But what do you think about David Dimbleby's frank confession at the end? I mean, did you guess?
Ill-advised.
Ill-advised, yeah. I agree,
Even though we didn't see all of the debate, let's have a look at the highlights.
There just seems to be a total lack of comprehension on this panel, and indeed amongst this audience, which is a remarkable audience, even by the left-wing standards of the BBC. I mean, this lot's pretty left-wing.
Hang on a second.
Hang on a second.
When you talk about let me just say one thing.
Yeah.
This is an audience that has been carefully chosen, not by the BBC, but by an independent polling organisation to represent the balance between all parties.
Never a great
Very good.
Very good. Very good.
It's a very good tactic. Attack your audience.
Was it a wise move to pick a fight with David Dimbleby?
And the BBC audience. He's been a bit rattled, isn't he? 12 months ago, he was seen as this sort of man that was going to remake English politics and all this sort of stuff, and now he's just some bloke moaning that everybody's against him.
Who would you rather have a fight with, John? David Dimbleby or Jeremy Paxman?
Glass jaw, Dimbleby.
No, I think that...
He gets straight down. Paxman, he'd be like a bulldog. You'd have to shoot him in the end. He'd keep coming. And another thing, Prime Minister.
I prefer Jeremy Clarkson. Is he coming on here?
Yeah, not anymore, no.
Not this year.
I'll miss him if Ian goes.
Is this...
I'm being replaced by Clarkson.
I think one way to ruin this show and Top Gear is to have Ian and Jeremy Clarkson swap places. So
What would be your approach to the show?
what sort of car would Disraeli have driven?
Ed Miliband did something brilliantly this week. What was that?
He successfully ingested a sandwich without causing uproar.
Let's have a look.
It's never happened like this before, Tom, I absolutely promise you. It's just, it is honestly fluke. Oh my goodness me! Okay, that has never...
6 balls.
Okay,
there's some cheating going on here.
Happened to me before. I hope you caught on camera that shot that I played, by the way. Honestly, I want that broadcast on the Tonight programme.
Do you know what? I'd genuinely vote for him if he just settled for once and for all the actual rules of pool. Like, do you get 2 shots for a foul, even on black or not? Do you have to aim down the table? If you just went, look, this is it. This is my one election pledge. I'm going to sort this out. I'd be like, show me the box.
I think it's rather sweet that his astonishment at something had gone rather well.
Speaking of something going well on camera, John, do you feel like every time somebody makes a mistake on the campaign trail it's picked up, or is it happening all the time we don't know about?
Oh, it get picked up. It's part of the politics. I was in one of the big supermarkets and I rather like custards. So I pick up the custard and eat it and say, well, this is wonderful that they get the best custards in Asda, but it wasn't Asda.
Was it a custard?
Yeah.
At the launch of the Labour manifesto, how did Ed Miliband describe himself?
The leader.
I'm ready.
That is indeed what he said. Is he ready?
Definitely, yes.
What would you say if you thought he wasn't?
That was about a 5 on a sincerity-ometer.
Let's remind ourselves of the key Labour manifesto pledges.
Yes.
Going over to Ruth Cadbury, parliamentary candidate for Brentford and Isleworth.
The Labour Party's manifesto is out now. Can you tell me more about the key policies? Sum them up. What are your key policies?
I can't remember what oh, God, I'm sorry.
You need to check them, that's not great.
No, I do need to check. I mean, I'm reading them every day. Sorry.
Labour's key policies.
Yeah, Labour...
To be fair, when you're asked about the manifesto, it only came out about 24 hours ago, isn't it? It's a bit much to push these people to say, do you remember everything?
John, perhaps you could talk us through the key Labour promises. I'll stop you when we've got enough.
I've got the pledge cards. We delivered on this one in 1997 on every phase. Come and have a look, and we'll deliver on this. Everybody's got pledge cards.
That.
Yeah, OK. Do you trust politicians to deliver?
Yeah, hold on a second, hold on. So, but you're all saying...
Yeah, I can have a look and see how we delivered it. And then the
There's
other
a
one
train
too,
ticket ready.
Look at the top pledge on the top. We will invade Iraq against the wishes of the people of Britain.
Yeah, but it was Miliband who stopped the invasion into Syria. That's something for him, isn't it? I haven't heard you say much about that.
No, because I'm more interested in the previous one, which
Well,
you
we
were
were wrong.
involved in.
And we made it clear that's so. We made a mistake. There's no doubt about that. But give Miliband the credit for stopping us doing the same thing with Syria.
Okay,
because Cameron was about to get to do it with the Americans.
Yeah, no, I have no problem with that. And Obama
You just
took
don't work
the hit.
about it or talk about it. Anyway, that's the difference between us.
Yeah.
Should we start again?
But you say
I don't think so.
that the manifesto will only just come out, so the candidate can't be expected to know what's in it. Is the manifesto meant to be a massive surprise to Labour candidates?
No, but when you get... Well, in our party, you have to get it through the National Executive, and we have a policy making for the manifesto. You don't know necessarily what's coming through. I think some great things have come through, particularly when we're dealing with the Leveson report, and what are we going to do about making the press more accountable?
Yes,
That's quite important.
You're
isn't
going
it?
to legislate, aren't you?
What we said about that, we will carry out what Leveson said. We wait to see the press...
Leveson said nothing about a royal charter. He didn't mention it.
I would have thought you as a journalist might find that's an important point.
No, as a
Oh, you
journalist, it's
don't?
an unimportant point.
God blimey, you in private eye, you're sued every day, for God's sake, for what you say about people.
No, we're not. And certainly not about you. I know you've got problems with the press and your private life, John.
I think the last time you raised it, you got the same. Oh, why don't you be more specific and say it usually straightforward in private eye? What's your complaint?
OK, you're very, very unhappy about the press's intrusion into your private life, because
No,
they revealed you were
never
having an affair
complained
with
about
Tracy
it at
Temple.
all.
And it was very embarrassing for you.
No, it wasn't.
God, it wasn't embarrassing.
No, I made a mistake. I owned up to it publicly, and I was waiting for this one
You
to come
didn't
from
own
you.
up to it publicly. You were revealed as doing it.
Hey, I did it at the Labour conference. Didn't you watch that?
And whoever comes out alive is the winner.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
That's a death stare. He gave you a death stare.
It depends his order in the room service, I suppose, doesn't it, John?
This is like a terrible family Christmas. What does the Green Party manifesto want to ban?
The Grand National.
Yes, that's one of the things. Cheap flights, grouse shooting, foie gras, horse racing and fur coats. There goes my weekend. What is the Green Party pledge on plastic bags?
They're going to be £1, not 5p. A full pound.
They are going to tax them. How much money will this raise?
£4. from a few initial trailblazers, and then people will just use the really thick carrier bag that they keep other carrier bags in at home. That's just going to happen.
According to the Green Party, their tax on plastic bags will raise perhaps £1 billion. I like the word perhaps.
It's a good idea anyway.
Hold that thought, because it's time for a quick-fire round of the election bonus buzzer questions. What did Alex Salmond do next? Fingers on buzzers. Here's Alex Salmond on the campaign trail in his constituency having a chat over the garden wall. But what did he do next? Ian and Alan.
Did he keep his head and shoulders there, but just using his stomach muscles, bring his feet up at this side?
Here's the thing, you're closer than you think. Having had a chat with that constituent, he joined another to jump up and down on a mattress. Look how high he gets. I mean, maybe he comes out of it well, Alex Salmond. He's very supple on that mattress. Don't quote that out of context. He, OK, so we haven't talked enough about UKIP. What about their manifesto? What is different about the UKIP manifesto compared to the last election, according to Nigel Farage?
He said it was drivel, the first one, and this one, he said, was a new gold standard for manifestos.
And this one, he said, is their serious manifesto.
All the manifestos are full of other people's policies. You just look at what's popular and you say, we're going to do that.
Well, they don't have to do it, do they? That's the joy of it. They just have to say it until we all vote for them, and then they go, yeah, we can't do that.
What part have sausage rolls played in the campaign?
Yes, UKIP man got into trouble for giving people sausage rolls because it could be you could be sort of, you know, making people vote your way. Bit of sausage wrapped in pastry, oh yeah, I'll vote for you.
That's it.
There's a very ancient law against bribing the electorate.
Yeah.
People used to do it all the time in the old days.
Kim Rose, this was, standing in Southampton Itchen, offered free sausage rolls at the UKIP party event, which is against the rules, although police have decided not to investigate further. John, have you ever been corruptly influenced by a sausage roll?
Yes, what's that then?
It's a quick-fire election bonus buzzer round.
Brilliant.
The category is random questions.
Yes.
Let's try some random answers.
Fingers on buzzers.
Yeah.
The Conservative-controlled Stratford-on-Avon Council leaflet about recycling isn't what? Paul and John?
Printed on recyclable paper.
Yes, it's not recyclable. Some of UKIP's election leaflets asking us to believe in Britain were printed where?
Germany.
Abroad.
Can you be more specific?
Foreign.
Germany.
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 Germany is the answer.
Yeah.
Europe.
And finally, what's happening here?
What's happening here?
Nobody really knows what's happening there. It's just Nigel Farage campaigning. Just another ordinary day. And let's just meet a UKIP voter from Essex.
My buttocks are smooth, my mind is clear. Vote UKIP.
Yes, it's the start of that weird 3-week period where everyone pretends the manifestos actually matter. The Independent reported that a Polish prince living in London and unhappy with UKIP's anti-immigrant stance challenged Nigel Farage to a duel. I like the sound of that idea, but then a spokesman for UKIP said, Nigel doesn't have a sword. And now I like it even more. It was revealed by The Star on Sunday that UKIP's new office in Luton is next to an X-rated gay sauna, which hosts a night called Jocks and Cocks. That wouldn't be a bad name for an SNP Labour coalition. Ian and Alan, take a look at this.
He's got off the bus. That's a manifesto.
Yes. Oh, look, it's the Prime Minister. Oh, no, this is tragic.
Go on, son, go on, son.
Oh, in the gutter. You'd think before you do a photo op with a bowling ball, you'd have a practice.
Yeah, a little warm-up.
But he's not the only Lib Dem person to have trouble bowling a ball.
Yeah, well, Charles Kennedy, there was a wonderful bit of footage in the early days. We used to play it every week. You haven't got it, have you?
Let's have a look.
They're consistent, the Lib Dems. Anyway, that was Charles Kennedy. So, no, this is the government, in the shape of Cameron and Clegg, putting their stake on the country.
Yeah, it's been a big manifesto week, hasn't it? And I, for one, have been gripped.
You only get a manifesto once every 5 years, so it's worth a look.
Yeah.
I expect, John, you've read these, haven't you?
No.
Does that include the Labour one?
What did David Cameron try this week? What was his approach?
It was the good life. It was a promise to take us back to a 70s sitcom.
Shall we have a The Good Life quiz?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? OK. Tom and Barbara, of course, the
Yes,
couple.
yeah.
What job did Tom jack in to go self-sufficient?
He was in an advertising agency.
What exactly did he do?
Was it breakfast cereal?
Oh, together you'd make such a great team.
Yeah.
He was designing...
Yeah, God, no one's thought of that.
He designed the toys that go in breakfast cereal.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Fancy not knowing that.
Yeah.
And how else has Cameron been optimistic?
He's been criticised for being a bit dour. People said, we want passion, so this is passion. He's promising to get off with all Ed's girlfriends. No, he isn't. That's not in the manifesto. But he's trying to show a bit of life, isn't he?
What's he got in the tank? David Cameron, what's in the tank?
Tiger in the tank. He hides it well, doesn't he?
God, I thought it was Tony there for a minute.
Anything else?
Yeah, he said he's got a lion in the tank, he's got some camels, and a yeti.
I've not only got a tiger in my tank, there's a couple of elephants, a lion and a yeti in there. Why has he changed tack? Why has he gone positive?
Because he's a political cross-dresser. That's the phrase they've used a lot this week, which is creepy. I'm glad they didn't do that when you were around, John.
I always found it difficult with that side of politics.
Yeah.
If you had been a political cross-dresser, what might you have worn? Don't say you haven't thought about it.
I haven't, no. I wear boxer shorts if you're interested.
I wasn't, but I definitely am now. How did David Cameron conclude his speech?
Did he do a cartwheel? Did he do that thing where he grabs one foot and hops right through it? Did he do that? If he did that, he'd have my vote.
He said, give me 5 more years to finish off saving the country. We perhaps should have saved that for the missing words round. How did The Sun depict the new optimistic David Cameron? They depicted him like this. Is David Cameron definitely the politician that Buzz Lightyear most resembles?
No.
Let's have a look at another picture.
Who's that?
He's a ridiculous toy.
What were the rays of sunshine in the Tory promises?
Well, having said there was no money, they've now found it. So the Tories are just throwing promises out. Rail fares, they're going to stay where they are forever. You want free, tax-free childcare, you can have it. You want inheritance, it's all yours. What else do you want?
£8 billion to the NHS?
Yep, done.
Yeah.
Whatever Labour are promising, we're promising as well.
And how are they going to pay for it?
Don't ask. Osborne got asked the same question by Andrew Marr 15 times. Osborne wouldn't answer. It's none of our business.
Who heckled David Cameron this week?
Mrs. Cameron.
That may have happened privately. Publicly, he was heckled by a man with a ukulele.
That's a brilliant heckle, isn't it?
I feel the lyrics rather let him down.
What were they?
I'm not repeating it.
They were fuck off back to Eton. I think that's who it was, wasn't it?
Who is helping out Hannah David, the candidate for Harrow West? Who was on the campaign trail with her this week?
Is it Eddie Izzard?
Let's have a look.
Oh, there you are.
It's Eric Pickles, of course.
Does he have to be parked like a normal car?
Who's not bothered about the polls?
Me.
Who else?
Nick Clegg.
Nick Clegg.
But he is going to win in a sort of way.
Is he?
Yeah.
What sort of way is he going to win?
He's going to be in government again.
Oh, is he? How's that going to work?
Well, if no one wins overall, the Liberal manifesto makes it clear that they're absolutely committed to whoever's in power.
What's the new slogan that Nick Clegg is using to convey it's all about building a coalition?
I'm no good on my own.
I thought he'd gone a bit Wizard of Oz. Because he said, I'll be the brains for the Labour Party and the heart for the Tory Party, and then he stopped the quote. And you're thinking, there were 3 of them, weren't they? The Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and who was the... Oh, it was the Cowardly Lion.
He also said the choice for the coalition, he said, it's either Farage, Salmon or me. Sounds like a sort of disappointing episode of Blind Date, doesn't it?
Disappointing.
The polls can be very difficult to follow. I think some people find them hard to understand. Luckily, the BBC's come up with some very helpful graphics to help us understand what the polls are doing. Let's have a look at those, yeah.
Let's turn it to the right page, first of all, and then we can get the policies up. Hang on 1 second. Bear with me. It always goes wrong. Best laid plans and all. Hang on a second. There we go. Right, policies. Take 2.
Which is the unholiest possible alliance? LibCon, ConKip, LibLab or LabSnip?
I'm waiting for Lab Tory.
Do you think that's possible?
Yeah. You'd go in for that, wouldn't you?
What the hell?
Would you prefer LabSnip?
LabSnip.
It sounds like a sort of trendy vegetable, doesn't it? Like Celtis. Can I offer you a roast lamb snip? It's Labour SNP. Would that be better?
Sounds more like an
No,
operation.
don't hear it right. I'm not voting for the SNP.
You're not going to vote for them all?
I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to work with them, no.
So do you think you're going to win on your own?
I'll do my bit.
I've got an even more important question.
Yes.
You know when politicians go to visit sites and they have a hard hat and a high-vis jacket? Do they all have their own at home that they take with them?
Now they get presented with them. You always look stupid in them.
Do you have a hard hat and a high-vis jacket? The
never
team with
knew.
the boxer shorts.
Interesting thought, but no.
Bad news, I'm afraid. It's a final quick-fire election bonus question. I'm going to give you a manifesto quote. What I want to know is, what are they on about?
Right, OK. What are they on about? Diddly-dee.
We will create more catapult centres.
That's got to be for us.
Is that a UKIP thing? They're going to be in Dover.
No, that is a Conservative promise. It's about research centres for robotics.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Next quote, we will support a model of knowledge clusters. Paul and John.
Liberal Democrat.
No.
Oh.
It's Labour and its links between regional universities and industry.
Oh.
Did you know that, John?
Yes, I did, actually.
Why didn't you buzz?
I'm one of the clusters.
You're a cluster.
So let's give the last word to Michael Gove. He was asked a question by a journalist who caught him slightly off guard. Let's have a look.
Too late to win the election?
Yes.
David Cameron conveyed his enthusiasm this week by telling a journalist, I've not only got a tiger in my tank, there's a couple of elephants, a lion and a yeti in there. I wonder where he got the yeti from. One of the Conservatives' promises was that workers on the minimum wage will pay no tax at all, putting them in the same tax bracket as their employers at Amazon and Starbucks. So at the end of that round, 2 points each. On to round 2, the picture spin quiz. Fingers on buzzers teams. Paul and John.
Well, the pieces on that chess seem to be the same colour, which kind of takes the fun out of the game. There was a guy that cheated in chess. He was taking part in a tournament and disappeared for a comfort break and then came back brilliant. And they went into the loo and found a computer hidden in there that admitted it was a fair cop. And have been thrown out of chess.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Gaios Nigalitsa, his name is, and he went into the bathroom where, what did he have on his smartphone?
A chess thing.
A chess app.
Chess app, that's it, chess app.
Do you have a chess app on your smartphone?
He had a chap on his ring, on his finger. Computers and homosexuality, it's all the same thing to me.
When they caught him, his first excuse was that it was his girlfriend's phone, and then they said, you haven't got one, you're a chess player.
Pass.
I like chess as well.
Yeah.
It's a shame, really, isn't it? But, you know, it's a living.
What's his penalty?
He's not allowed to play chess for...
Or think about it.
He actually faces a ban of 15 years.
Oh, blimey.
Or 1 game of chess. What did he do when he was confronted?
Was it King's Pawn tonight, 7?
Very good.
Is that...
I like that a lot.
It's a chess joke.
You a chess player? John, do you play chess at all?
I've had to go at Tiddlywinks.
Did you have a special app for that?
On the subject of gaining an unfair advantage, what cunning ruse has German schoolboy Simon Schrader come up with to give him the edge?
What, in exams?
It is an edge in exams. How is he going to get the edge?
He's going to revise properly. A strategy unknown to so many young persons.
It's not that. He has filed a Freedom of Information request to see the questions.
I like him.
What's the flaw in his plan?
They're not going to give it to him.
The process will take too long. The exam will appear before he gets these answers.
That's what it is. They have a month to reply.
There was some story about some guy I saw in the paper this week who'd been doing this as a scam, you know, pretending to be other people and taking driving tests and stuff for their behalf. But he was failing them all. And although he came in a variety of different disguises, he always used his own same car.
This is the chess grandmaster who was caught cheating by using his smartphone in the lavatory. The chess grandmaster has now been forced to resign, which he did on the spot by knocking himself over and rolling away. Let's spin up another picture. Fingers on buzzers.
Yeah.
Whistling's back.
No, it's dwindling.
It's dwindling. Fewer people are whistling. Why?
Because the message has spread that it's really annoying.
It takes a bit of effort to learn.
More people can speak now.
The reason given in John Lucas's book, A Brief History of Whistling. Apparently, the problem is that the disappearance of classic working-class whistling occupations such as errand lads and delivery boys on their bicycles. Everyone here good at whistling?
No.
That's it.
No.
And that was me, and I was doing that while drinking a glass of water. See that?
Who is doing their bit to promote whistling in Britain?
Popeye.
Might not be someone you've heard of. It's the pride of Loughborough former international whistling champion, Sheila Harrod, of course. Sheila Harrod.
Oh, yes.
According to Times, Sheila still performs 1940-style variety shows in the UK and abroad.
Whether people want it or not. It's good, that's good. She's determined.
Would you like to see Sheila perform?
Yeah, go on. I bet it's good.
Let's have a
Good
look.
whistler's always worth seeing. It'd be more impressive if she didn't have a nightingale stuck in her hand. But other than that, very good.
You definitely need a second kitchen if she was in there.
That's the sort of thing I imagine you going to see live, Ian, on a Saturday night out.
Yeah, I've got tickets.
This is the news that the art of whistling is disappearing in Britain. According to the Sunday Times, one milkman was given a formal warning by his employer after 5 residents on his round complained about his early morning whistling. To be fair, he was in bed next to them. Next picture, fingers on buzzers teams. Now, you might have seen this house looking slightly different.
This house looks slightly different. Has it appeared in a film under a nom de plume?
There's shouting stripes over there.
Oh, yes, I know this story.
What do you think it is, Ian?
Well, I did read this. There was a... She redecorated the house with stripes because her neighbours were complaining about the work she was doing, and she was so cross, this woman, she said, oh, well, if you don't like that, you won't like this. So they woke up and the whole house is done in stripes.
That's it. The owner, Zipporah Lyle Mannering, was cross with her neighbours because they blocked a planning application. So she painted the front of her house. Shall we have a look at what she did?
Jolly.
How would you market that house if you're an estate agent?
Perfect for toothpaste magnet.
According to the Express, the redecoration was carried out in the dead of night by embarrassed Russian painters.
They're very cheap. The more embarrassed they are, the cheaper they'll work.
And one of the residents told the Mail that the house kind of glows in the evening. It's fluorescent.
Yes.
Is that the polonium?
This is the controversial stripy house which has upset residents in Kensington. The owner of the house has been criticised for painting it in garish colours, but her family have rushed to her defence. Her stepson told the Daily Mail she's an extremely unpleasant character. That means at the end of this round it is Paul and John with 3, Ian and Alan with 3. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication, The Racing Pigeon. It shits all over other publications. We start with 4 koalas moving abroad, what?
Arrested on Turkish border. They've been radicalised, you got to watch them.
4 koalas moving abroad fly business class. Yes, 4 koalas were sent to Singapore from Australia. Here's one of the koalas on the flight.
Why isn't he watching the film?
He expected to open that tin himself. I mean, this photograph chucks up much more questions than it answers. Where's his other 3 friends?
Yeah.
Next. What, like a fine wine, mature with age?
Pigeons. It's got to be.
It's a
Prescott.
Is it grapes? Grapes,
Yes.
like a fine wine. Mature with age.
It's marathon pigeons.
Marathon pigeons.
Yes. A marathon for a pigeon can be up to 600 miles, or 500 miles as the crow flies. But then the crow does cheat. Next one. Scottish police ditch body armour because it makes them what?
Look overweight.
It is that. Yes. Look too bulky in photographs. This is in accordance with new guidelines issued to Scottish police by their federation. It's already led to embarrassment on one photo call in Dundee when the photographers asked police to remove their bulky body armour, only to be told they weren't wearing any. To be fair, it's not just in Scotland and America. The police are also very self-conscious about how they look on camera, especially when they're shooting an unarmed man 8 times in the back. Next, woman who hates what offers to pay someone £50 to do them.
Is it crosswords?
Oh, close.
Sudoku puzzles. No.
Pigeon drop-ins.
Who hates pigeon droppings offer to pay someone £50 to do them?
Completing jigsaws.
Oh, complete jigsaws.
Yes.
Why
that's
not just don't open the box?
No, but she loves jigsaws. She just doesn't like completing them. This is a woman in East London who placed an advert offering to pay £50 for someone to complete her jigsaw. Here's the advert.
No time wasters.
Has it not occurred to her that most jigsaws are based on a picture? And you can just buy the picture?
No, but she likes the picture with the little bits cut out.
I'll draw them on for 50 quid.
Yeah, it's an easy £50. On the downside, the £50 is torn into 1,000 pieces, which you have to stick back together. Otherwise, easy money. Next, the North East's racing pigeon raffle includes top prize of what?
A cat.
Money.
No.
Not money.
Something pigeons want even more than money.
Birdseed.
Free corn is correct. This news is taken from regular racing pigeon feature Around the North East with Barry Pearce. The column has the headline, A Bit of Everything. That's everything in the sense of everything relating to pigeon racing in the North East that happened in the last week. Next, man from Hull, first person to what?
Wear boxer shorts.
The answer
Is
is...
to race pigeons over the Atlantic.
It's the opposite.
You went a bit too specific. It's send pigeon across the sea.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it's from the letters page of the Racing Pigeon. The amazing thing about this story is how they managed to persuade the pigeon to go back to Hull. Next, alien signals from space actually came from what?
Oh, this is an Australian story. Microwave machine. Scientists were thinking they were picking up alien signals from space, and actually it was somebody cooked a sausage roll. So every so often they heard a beep, what was that, like that? Without realising it was a microwave next door.
That's right, scientists microwave.
When I say this stuff, you think I'm just making it up, don't you? So do I.
Scientists in Australia this week finally discovered that signals they'd been tracing to help explain alien life had actually come from the microwave in their lab. They initially failed to make the connection as the signals were happening twice a day, or 14 times a day when Fat Baz was on telescope duty. Next, family with enormously wide what enters Guinness Book of Records?
Heads. They're a family with huge...
Yeah.
It's a genetic thing.
Yeah.
Is it range of interests?
You're closer with heads.
Is it sofa?
Why is that close to heads?
Mouths.
Close enough. Close
Noses.
enough. It's tongues.
Tongues?
Tongues.
Tongues. Wide
Here they are.
tongues?
Let's have a look at the wide tongues. Yes, here they are sending off for their certificate. The dad of the family, Byron Schlenker, told Metro he'd been inundated with requests for autographs. He said, I even had one lady who asked me to lick her Guinness book. I really hope that isn't a euphemism. And finally, MI5 allows Blue Peter badge holders to what?
Is it to live?
Yes. Waterboard suspects. This one's for John Noakes.
MI5 allows Blue Peter badge holders to see inside HQ. After winning a competition, 3 Blue Peter viewers were allowed inside MI5 headquarters this week. The children's first job as secret agents will be to locate this so-called farm that all the Blue Peter pets go to live on. So the final scores are Ian and Alan 5 points, Paul and John 8 points. Congratulations, Paul and John. Before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
Is it OAP kills Captain Birdseye after fish finger dissatisfaction?
Is this the Scandi Noir version of Last of the Summer Wine?
Mature baby falls out of pram.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Alan Cochrane, Paul Merton and Lord Prescott, and I leave you with news that outside the leadership debate in London, David Dimbleby relaxes before he's called into makeup. On a building site in Dundee, Labour leader Jim Murphy spots Alex Salmond in the street below. And on BBC 4's new highbrow music quiz, it's time for the ever-popular round of Guess the Mystery Oboist. Good night.